Oh my gosh. Hello and officially welcome to the Balancing Healthy podcast. I'm your host, Sarah McDonald, which feels so weird to say for two reasons. Firstly, if you call me Sarah McDonald, I feel like I'm in trouble. I'm better known as Sezzy Mac, like something like that. And secondly, because this has been something that been on my mind for well over a year now. It's been on my vision board. I've done I think four guest episodes this year on other people's podcasts, like my friends in the industry. It's just kind of surreal that we are here. So thank you so much for being here. Whether you're listening on Spotify, watching on YouTube, wherever you're listening to this, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Basically, the idea behind this podcast, like the name suggests, I am going to try and help you guys learn how to balance your health. So, what I mean by that, I will get into it. I'm going to start today with, I guess, a bit about me, my background, how we got here. But I've definitely, over the last 7, nearly 8 years since I started my health journey, have kind of been through it all. There's just been anything and everything you can think of. I feel like I've done it and I waited so many years. So I want to try and like give you guys lots of tips and tricks and everything to kind of condense it for you and get you start living your best, healthiest life in a way that works best for you. So bit about me currently. I am a personal trainer. I have been for 2 years in a little women's boutique studio in South Yarra in Melbourne. I fucking love it there. Just FYI, I swear when I'm excited. So if you got kids around, try not to. Um, Anyway, yes, I've been there for 2 years. I fucking love my job. I love what I do. I love working with women. And then I also have my online coaching business, which is Coach by Says. Again, I work mostly with women. I have worked with a few men, but mostly with women and just teaching them pretty much how training less and eating more is actually going to be more beneficial to you. You'll see more results, which again, I will touch on throughout the podcast, I am sure. So, my vibe for this podcast is I'm just chilling on the couch. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see just me chilling on the couch. And I just want to make it like as raw and unedited as possible. So we're just going to go with the flow. Like I said, that was a bit about me today. I'm going to try and take you through my journey without taking it too in depth, if that makes sense. So let's start from the start very quickly. I always forget this first note, but growing up, I wasn't a sporty gal. I'm one of five kids, and my four siblings all participated in lots of sport, did lots of things like that. I was not one of them. However, I was a dancer from the ages of 3 till 12, and I was fucking good. Like, genuinely, I was good. You can ask my mama, you can ask my friends. I've got dance videos. I was a great dancer. But I gave up when I turned 12 because to be fair, I was getting bored of the first half of the year. We would do exam work, which was just like repeating the same shit every week. It was very boring. And then the second half of the year was when we got into concert work, which is the stuff I loved. It was that creative stuff. I fucking loved it. It was like, put me on a stage. I'm ready to perform. So yeah, did that till I was 12. And then I gave up because I thought, oh, I'm going into high school now, like I can't be focusing all this time on dancing. I'm going to need to focus on school and homework and yada, 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 which at the, like looking back, I'm like, that was like really silly of me, but I'm actually so glad that that happened. Otherwise, I would have gone down a really different path. I feel like I still would end up where I am today, but it would have been a whole lot different. Anyone who's been a dancer or knows about the professional dance industry, it's pretty fucked. I'm not going to go into it, but it's pretty fucked. And I'm glad that I didn't end up down that road. So, anyway, went into high school. I've got some notes on my phone if you can see, because I'm like ADHD gal, I'm going to forget. So anyway, went into high school. I decided my sisters were trying gymnastics. I was like, oh, I'll give that a go for a year. Didn't really love it. Although I will tell you, there was this one night that there was like a sleepover at the gym. It was so random, like at the hall. And it was just like, we were just like, all the apparatus stuff was out. We're just going around having a play. And there was this little like springboard thing. And I fucking loved it. You would just run and you would jump off the springboard and do a trick and land on a mattress. And, you know, I fucking loved it. I had a lot of fun with that. And I specifically remember on this night, I went and I did a trick. And there was these two kids that were probably younger than me at the time. They're probably like 8 at the time. I was 13, I think. Um, and I did this trick, and then these kids started laughing. These boys started laughing at me, and they're like, "Oh, she's so fat. She nearly broke the springboard." And like, that was kind of the first kind of comment I had directly to my body, directly to my face. Like looking back, I'm like, it was pretty fucked. These kids were so young, and that's just kind of the society we lived in. And I actually forgot to say, I already had like weight kind of issue, not weight issues, but definitely body issues. So a lot of the concerts we did for dancing, we wore like kind of like two-piece outfits, and I would always wear a like skin color bodysuit underneath. Not that it actually did anything to quote unquote hide my stomach. I personally felt a lot more comfortable with it. And when I watched the videos back, I'm like, Sarah, like you really didn't need to do that. But that's just what it was for the time back then. Anyway, so gymnastics for a year, that shit happened, threw it out the window. And then I kind of like dabbled in netball a little bit. It was never ever serious. So like all throughout high school, probably up until the age of 20. I just played in like in what's it called? In teams with friends. Like never was serious, never had like training or anything. It was just like chill, come and play once a week. You do you. And like I had a lot of fun. Um, but yeah, maybe I'll go back, maybe I won't. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was just very social for me. There's nothing serious about it. And I never went to the gym. So it's kind of crazy to think at 27 years old, I'm a personal trainer and I'm fucking obsessed with the gym. But anyway, we'll get there. So anyway, I need to get back to my notes because I've already lost classic me. Okay, December 2016. So I was, how old was I at this point? I should have written something down. What are we in 2024? So 8 years ago. I'm 20. So I was 19. Fabulous. I was 19, nearly 20, and it was my brother's engagement party. And I remember going shopping with mum for an outfit and going into all the shops. And I already hated shopping, but we were going into all the shops, could not find a single thing that fit. So I'd really let myself go at this point. I'd been in a relationship for nearly 3 years. Just at, being 19, you can drive everywhere, you can drink, you can go through drive-throughs, like you can do all that kind of stuff. So I'd really let myself go. So anyway, December 2016, shopping for something for my brother's engagement party. Couldn't find anything. I remember feeling so fucking deflated. And mum and I ended up in Kmart. I ended up buying this like jumpsuit from Kmart. It was a size 18. And I just remember thinking, like, fuck, I have let myself go. Like, and I already had such low self-worth at this point. And I just thought, like I just remember being in that change room. I feel like I'm gonna cry right now. Being in that change room and just feeling like this is so fucking shit. I can't believe I've got to this point. But still, I hadn't really like taken that step to do anything about it. Anyway, that was a shit feeling. I still have that jumpsuit because it holds like this special place in my heart. And that was nearly 8 years ago. Anyway, so we fast forward to April 2017. So what's that? 5 months later. My ex and I had broken up at this point, and I had actually already lost a couple of kilos since we broke up, purely from not going out to eat as much, not drinking so much, things like that. But then April 2017, one of my friends said to me, she was like in the same position, wanted to lose some weight as well. And she was like, hey, Sarah, like, do you want to go to this like local group gym type thing? Um, it's not like a big franchise or whatever they're called. Like, so I don't have a name for it. Because funny story, it actually got shut down a few months later, but that's the whole story I'm not getting into. But basically she was like, do you want to come and try this place with me? Like we can go together, we can train together, it'll be fun. So I said, you know what? Sure, let's do it. Like, let's go. And fucking terrifying. First time ever stepping foot into a gym. Oh, something just hit me actually. First time ever stepping foot into this gym. And there was a girl there that my ex had cheated on me with. So that I was like, everything at this point was like, holy fuck, like it's all just happening. But I'm here. Let's go to the gym. Let's try and lose some weight. Like that's all I viewed the gym as. I was like, let's just go, like, get our sessions done, get this weight off. That was it. Me and my friend ended up winning this challenge they were doing at the time. So we got I think it was 6 months free coaching or something like that, like post the challenge. So of course we stayed there until it shut down. But like I said, that was a whole story. So because it shut down, we started going to another one that all the rest of the members were going to as well. And I just, at the time, it was, again, group fitness. It was great, but it was a lot of money. I was working at Macca's doing like one shift a week at this point, and it was probably $45, $50 a week or something, this place. And I just thought, like, I just one shift a week at Macca's, I can't do that. So I signed up at my local gym, my first ever like conventional gym, $5 a week. It was a Derrimut. So if you've been to a Derrimut, they're fucking intimidating. And I actually can't believe I signed up to that. But yeah, it was $5 a week. So I was like, cool, I'll just go to this gym and do my own thing. Um, so as you can imagine, I didn't really because I did not have a plan. I didn't know how to use anything. I was so intimidated. And I was like, it's only $5. Like, who cares if I don't go? Like, that was the vibe of it. So I really think that's the vibe of like low price investments. It's like, oh, who cares? It's only this much money. But yeah, anyway, that was that. Towards the end of that year, so that was January 2018. Let me get to the next spot in my slides. Yes, November 2018 is when I signed up for my Fitness Pal like the first time ever, because all I've been doing was like kind of going to the gym, but I nutrition wise, I had just like tried to quote unquote be healthy. So like tried to be clean and like just like plain chicken and like plain veggies, like just kind of like boring stuff. And then I would still eat my normal stuff on the weekend. Like it was like clean during the week and then eating shit on the weekend. So it was just anyway, it was a whole thing. So anyway, November 2018 was when I signed up for my Fitness Pal the first time. And of course you put in your weight and height and activity levels and everything, and they give you your calories for your goal option, which of course, me being me at the time was like, of course I want to lose a kilo per week, which I won't get into that now. That's dramatic. We don't want to do that. But of course it's gonna, if it's giving me the option to lose 1 kilo a week, I'm gonna do it. So I chose that. And then of course the calories are so fucking low, but I was like, cool. I started seeing results. Of course I did. I was barely fucking eating. And at this point I was like kind of going to the gym, kind of not. Um, so yeah, that was that. I used to go to the gym and do literally like 1 hour Stairmaster sessions. Like all I ever did was cardio. And looking back, I'm like, it was fucked. At the time, I loved it, but looking back, it was so fucked. It actually, I'll tell you this story. It got to the point where there was one day I went and got a flu shot, and this is so fucking dumb. So no one ever do this. And I always say this to my clients. One day I went and got a flu shot, and they were like, if you feel okay, like you can train the next day, or I don't know, whatever it was. But I felt fine. This was like 10 a.m. I got the shot done. I felt fine. And I was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to go to the gym. And I went to the gym a few hours later. I did a 1 hour session on the Stairmaster. And then by that night, I was so fucking sick. Okay. Don't ever do that. But to me, I was like, I need to go and do my 1 hour cardio. Otherwise, like I'm going to put on weight. Like it was just crazy, crazy stuff. So yeah, just learn from me. Don't do that. That was fucking stupid of me. I was so sick for days. Anyway, let's fast forward a bit. I had kind of started like not meeting, but like meeting people on Instagram that were doing, I think we were doing keto at this point. Like they were like sharing their journey. So in September 2019, which is actually, what's that, 5 years ago, I started my Strong Sezi account, which is still Strong Sezi. It used to be Shy Sezi when I started it because I was a very shy gal, but it is Strong Sezi now. And I created that because I wanted some more accountability for my health journey, but also I wanted to like meet more people. So on my account previous to that was like my personal account. It was just people I knew growing up, family, friends, high school people. Like no one was doing what I wanted to do. So I created another account, sorry, and it's kind of like separate from them. It was kind of like I was in like a separate little world and I was living my best life. Not gonna lie, I was shit scared when people I knew started following me on it, but I was like, oh well, I'm here to like promote, share my journey and we'll just see what happens. Um, so yeah, people were loving it though. People, of course, my friends and family are very supportive, but yeah, to me, I was shitting myself. By the time Christmas came that year, so only what, like 3 months later, I remember things were like pretty bad around this time, and they're about to get worse, but they were pretty bad around this time. I was in a different relationship that was just fucked. I was in a job that I really fucking hated. I remember I again was just doing everything I could to lose the weight, lose the weight, lose the weight. Like I would keep dropping the calories more and more and more, cut out the carbs. I was keto at this point. I was cutting out the carbs. And by the time it got to Christmas, it was like, and I think a lot of you will relate to this, It was Christmas Day. Okay, this is my one day that I don't need to track, that I can eat what I want to. So I went fucking crazy. And I still remember on Christmas night, like people were still there. On Christmas night, I went into my bedroom and I was in so much fucking pain. I literally was bawling my eyes out. Like my stomach was hurting so much because I was just trying to eat everything under the sun because I had been restricting myself for the whole month, the whole year, like everything. And it got to Christmas Day. And of course, it was my quote unquote one day that I could lash out. So I fucking lashed out and it fucking hurt. So again, we don't want to do that. And I'll touch on this in further episodes, but let's just leave it at that for now. January 2020. So we had my brother's wedding. So 3 years after that engagement party story. And I actually borrowed one of my sister's dresses, which to me, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I fit into their dresses, which I still can now. But back then I was like, I can't believe it. Like I've lost all this weight. I feel so good. Physically feel so good, quote unquote. Mentally, I was fucked. But in my head, I was like, I just feel mentally shit because I have a few more kilos to lose. But anyway, at this point, I was fucking tiny already. Brother's wedding. I have some photos of like the engagement and the wedding side by side. I will have to put them somewhere for you guys to see. But yeah, I was so proud of what I'd done in 3 months, and I was getting all these compliments like, oh my God, Sarah, you're looking so skinny, you're looking so good, you've lost so much weight, like good on you. And it was just like fuel to the fire. So anyway, that was that. I also quit my job in January 2020. I quit with 3 months notice. And then like, well, let's leave it at that. That was that. And then of course we went into lockdown in Melbourne. I think it was 2 months later, like end of March 2020. And as fucked as this sounds, actually no, backtrack to Feb 2020. I'd started another 12-week challenge to quote unquote lose weight. I was already sitting at about 70 kilos at this point. And if you know me now, like you can see me if you're watching the YouTube, I am currently 80 kilos, right? So I was 70 kilos and I was trying to get to 65 kilos because that's what the internet told me. It said your ideal weight is 65 kilos. And I was like, I'm going to go hard and fast this 12 weeks. So then I can lose that 5 kilos and then I'll be good. Like in my head, I was like, then I'll be good after that. No worries. Anyway, of course, I was like, let's go to the gym like 4 times a week. Let's be in a calorie deficit. I was following a program at the time. It was, I'm not going to name names. I wouldn't say they're influencer. They kind of are. Like they're very well known on Instagram, and I was following their program. And again, it was seven. Okay. Don't know what just happened, but it was $7 a week. And again, this is where it's like, it's cheap. Sorry, I don't know what just happened. So this is where it's $7 a week and it's cheap. So again, it wasn't as personalized as you'd expect. So basically they put me on like, I think it was 1,400 calories and they gave me 4 sessions, training sessions a week. And I stuck to it for a week or two. And then I was like, nah, I can't. So because I stopped training or I started doing less training, they lowered my calories to 1,300. Like they didn't actually look at what's the actual problem here. They just straight away lowered the calories. So I was eating fucking nothing. I was fasting until 12 or 1 o'clock. Didn't matter how fucking hungry I was. I was like, I need to save my calories for later. Otherwise, I'm not going to lose this weight. And then let's go back now to where I talked about March 2020 and we went into lockdown. And in my head, I was like, thank fuck we're in lockdown. It means I can't go out to eat anywhere. And this sounds so bad thinking back, but it meant that I couldn't go out to eat. I could track everything that I put in my mouth and, then I could lose the weight. It even got to a point where we were in lockdown and I remember thinking there was one morning where I was sitting at my desk because I still had like a month or two left of work at this point, and I was sitting on my desk and I was fucking starving. It was like 10 a.m. and I wouldn't even let myself eat some cucumber. Like I was like, I'm fucking ravenous, but I've got to wait until 1 o'clock before I can eat. Bad stuff. Again, I'll get into it later on down the podcast, but that's the point I was at. So yeah, I literally got to a point where I did a 3-day egg fast. And now an egg fast is when all your meals are literally made out of eggs and fats. That worked, quote unquote, worked because I dropped down to 67 kilos at that point. I've got photos of it. I looked so fucking unhappy. And it's because truthfully, I was unhappy. I was not moving my body. I was not eating enough. I hated everything. It was just a fucked thing. I remember throughout that year, we had upped, I don't know how it even happened, but my calories had come up a little bit again, which was definitely better for me, but I was still binging and I was still just not treating myself right and still really feeling really shit about everything. And truthfully, mentally was not good. So I think August 2020, I'd hit like a real rock bottom. I'm not going to get into it now because it is like a whole other episode, honestly. So yeah, a really big rock bottom. And then moved houses to a completely new area, knew nothing, knew no one, and obviously we're still in lockdown at this point. So it was just not good. But I want to fast forward to December 2020 when we were coming out of lockdown in Melbourne, and I obviously needed a new gym. I was in a completely new place. And my local F45 was having like a 3-week trial or something. I don't know what it was, but I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do that just to kind of tie me over till January, and then I can figure out, where there is a good gym around me. Anyway, I ended up actually staying there. I loved the vibe, and they were starting a challenge in the January of 2021. It was a 6-week challenge. That is literally all it was. And again, I was like, all right, I'm going to use this challenge to lose weight. Like that was all it was in my head. So far my journey has been 4 years and all I'm thinking about is losing weight. And like at this point, I'm not even questioning myself, like, why haven't I lost the weight or why can't I keep it off? It was just like 4 years of constantly being like, I need to lose weight. So anyway, 6-week challenge came. And I remember feeling so deflated that the scales weren't dropping, right? I was just like, why are the scales not dropping? Are my calories not low enough? Am I not training hard enough? Like all the things you can imagine. But at F45, we actually did a body scan at the start and the end of the challenge, which I'm sure if you go to F45, you know that. And I actually ended up winning the challenge. I was the female winner because even though I had only dropped 600 grams on the scale, I've got my notes here. I'd only dropped 600 grams on the scale. I actually dropped 3.2 kilos of body fat and I'd gained 2 kilos of muscle. And now 6 weeks is a short time for that. But again, like I'd said, I hadn't really got into my strength training. I hadn't really dealt with weights. I'd only dealt with cardio. So kind of like newbie gains in that sense. But also like eating my protein and, focusing on things like that. So I won that challenge and I feel like that's kind of where things started to change for me. I was like, oh, this is actually like really fun. Like I love coming here and one of the coaches who is still one of my best friends to this day, I was just like, she seems like she has so much fun. And at this point, I actually hadn't mentioned, at this point, I had just started a new job. And again, it was just like a random admin job because I still had no fucking idea what I wanted to do. So I was just thinking F45 seems really fun and maybe I could do this. So I decided to start my Cert 3 and 4 pretty much from then on. Again, at this point, I had no idea what I was going to do with it. I just thought it'd be cool to have my Cert 3. So when you get your Cert 3 in fitness, just so you guys are aware, when you get Cert 3, you can take group exercise. And then once you get your Cert 4, then you can do one-on-one PTs as well. So in my head, I was just doing them both because I was like, oh, like they come as a package deal kind of thing. But in my head, I only thought I would ever do classes. Like F45 was kind of all I had known at this point. So anyway, I won that challenge and I was there for another year and that's all good and that's all fine. In terms of eating, I had like kind of got a coach that year. Um, she did an 8-week challenge, I believe. So she was online. Sorry. So I was using her for nutrition. And then I was still doing F45 for gym. We went into more lockdown, so I was just training at home, like Zoom workdowns. Like pretty much that was all of 2021 was Zoom workouts at home and just kind of on and off with this coach for nutrition. It wasn't really personalized. It was just like her little challenges she was doing. So again, I wasn't really making any kind of progress. I was just kind of there. Um, anyway, fast forward to Feb 2022. I quit F45. I was Cert 3 certified at this point. No, actually, no. March 2022, I got Cert 3 certified. Um, yes. What am I talking about? Oh my God, say ADHD. Feb 2022, quit F45. Just like I just had enough by that point. And I was like, we'll kind of see what happens. I was waiting for a BFT near me to sign up, and they just kept pushing back their opening date. It was just like they were really annoying, like not giving any updates. All it was just constantly being like, nope, delay, delay, delay. And it's like, well, why? Like it was like, just like secrecy. It was very annoying. So they pissed me off. So after a few months, I decided to go sign up to my local anytime. I just started dating my partner at this point, and he was a member at Anytime. And I just thought, like, I'll just go do like a 3 month, whatever, like trial thingy until BFT opens. Um, at this point, I was like, I need a plan. I need like a program in the gym. Like, I'm like, I can't just go in and do whatever, like, cool, like I was studying, but I can't. So, yeah, I can't just go in and do whatever. So, August 2022, I signed up with Jess as my coach. I was literally about to go on a holiday to Ellie Beach for 2 weeks. And I was like, I don't care. I want to start now. Like, I want gym, nutrition. Like, I just want to do the whole thing. I think by this point, it had been, what, 5.5 years in my journey. And I was just fucking over it. I was like, I'm so sick of just constantly having no idea what I'm doing. Training's just like, here and there, like just no plan. Nutrition, I'm like, why is it so fucking hard? And I just wanted help. And let me tell you, this like changed my life. I remember our first call, we jumped on, and she literally told me I told her I was eating 2,100 calories as my maintenance, which like considering where I had been, that was pretty good to build up to there. And then she was like, fuck no, you'll be at least 2,500. And I remember that being like, wow, that's exciting. Like I can't wait for that. So anyway, I've been in there for like 2 years because she knows me. She knows my body. She knows everything. But yeah, that was kind of like the turning point with me. Mindset was getting better. Relationship with food was getting better. All the things were getting better. At the same time, actually, I can't believe I forgot to say this. At the same time I signed up with Jess, I actually got a job in group fitness, which is the same place I work now. And I was working in the office as well. I was working 2 jobs. I was still studying 2 courses. Life was getting hectic. And you know what? In this time, things started to shift for me. I started to fall in love with strength training. And this is more than likely because I actually wasn't trying to do a million sessions a week. We stripped it back. I said, Jess, 2 sessions a week is what I can commit to with everything else going on. And that's what we did. And I loved it. And like it served a perfect time and place for me. And in that time of my life, sorry. And like even now, I do my PTing, my coaching, and then I do my online business as well. And I still only train 3 times a week. And this is something that I think I'm going to bring into next episode anyway. But if we fast forward from August 2022 to now, so 2 years later, I literally am 13 kilos heavier than I was at that lowest weight. So I'm currently 80 kilos and my lowest was 67. But that was, like I said, after that egg fast. That was crazy stuff. Um, I am so fucking confident. I feel so fulfilled. I fucking love strength training. I'm so much more knowledgeable. Like the difference in the last 2 years as opposed to that first 5 is just honestly unreal. And it just goes to show like what happens when you have that guidance and you have someone who knows what they're doing. I struggled for 5 years on my own, and I literally got to the point that I was fucking sick of it, to now like I'm in such a good fucking place, and I have been for so many, like just so long now. It just feels so good, so incredible to be here and doing what I'm doing. So anyway, that's a little insight into my journey, and that is something that I hope to bring to you guys with this podcast. Um, like I said, I just want to be able to teach you really simple tips, tricks that you can implement in a day-to-day life to make health fit your lifestyle in a way that works for you, so you're not sitting there constantly like questioning every single decision like I was back then. But I'm going to wrap this up here. Thank you so much for listening, watching. Like I said, however you are listening to this podcast, I'm just so thankful and so grateful to have you here. And Yeah, I'm just excited to see where we go next. I'm looking forward to bringing you some more fun episodes. Please let me know if leave me a message on Instagram if you prefer shorter episodes, longer episodes, any like particular things you want me to cover. I absolutely love to have your opinions. This is obviously for you guys, it's not for me. But yeah, if you enjoyed today, please let me know, share it on socials, tag, whatever. I'm leaving my Instagram handle and stuff all in the show notes and in the YouTube notes down below. So I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here, and I will speak to you in the next episode. Bye.